You might think that everybody is still heading out south and west for the weather, the cost of living, the larger homes, and it might surprise you, but there is still a growing number of people moving back to Pennsylvania. And a lot of times it's not just about coming home, it's based on what life here now offers. You've got affordability, you've got quality of life, you've got remote work flexibility, great community spirit in all of the towns that we're going to talk about. And in this video, we're going to break down why Pennsylvania is slowly becoming the #1 comeback state across the entire country. Let's get into it. So if you have considered a move back to Pennsylvania, whether it's giving up some commute times, cost of living, even just rediscovering some new lifestyles here, this is not going to be a video that you want to miss. Today, I'm going to break down the top reasons why people are moving back to this great state. I'm going to explain and break down some of the shifts that we're seeing in this market, and we're going to see if it's a good move and a good fit for you. You're not going to want to miss this video. Let's get into it. Hey, my name is Zach Neild, and I lived in this area for my entire life. I've been a licensed real estate professional for the last 4 years now, and in that time, I've had the opportunity to help countless buyers and sellers all across the region make their move in this amazing state. So if that sounds like something that you're interested in or you're trying to accomplish as well, feel free to reach out to me. I'll throw my information up here on the screen, make it super easy for you guys to reach out. Call, text, email, whatever you prefer, and I would love to have the opportunity to work for you. Let's get into this video. So first up, we need to talk about what happened, what has changed, and where we're at now. So over the last couple of years, the story of who's leaving has started to flip. We're seeing more and more people, especially people that have grown up in these areas, that have been born and raised in the areas, friends, family. We've been starting to see them make their move back here, find their way, whether it be for work, for school, for other family. We are starting to see them make their way back here. One of the biggest reasons for the migration back to the state is going to be remote and hybrid work still being a huge driver and a factor of that. People don't need to live in major metro cities anymore, like Washington, D.C., New York City, parts of New Jersey, and even places in downtown Philly. They just don't need that direct access anymore. So instead, they're seeing where their dollar can get them, where they can stretch for affordability, for space, for quietness, and they're starting to consider those suburbs out here in Pennsylvania, Chester County, Montgomery County, Bucks County. They're going to be a lot more affordable than some of these other areas like New York, New Jersey, Washington, D.C. A lot of these people are going to have friends and family in these areas that they've grown up around, so they're going to be closer to family, to commute times, and as you see in this video, you're probably going to get a better quality of life. Not just talking about commutes or cost of living, but I just mean in general, community, events, schools, just your day-to-day activities, driving around, neighbors, stores that you go to. We're going to talk about that a little bit more. There's also going to be some pretty incredible affordability out here in the Pennsylvania suburbs that a lot of people are starting to notice. The Pennsylvania real estate housing market still offers some pretty great value, and especially for rising housing costs, low inventory. So suburbs around like Lancaster, Lehigh Valley, even parts of Chester and Montgomery County, you're going to find space, you're going to find amenities, you're going to have a stability in price that makes sense for you. Shopping, dining, everything that you need is going to be a couple of minutes away. There's also been a big shift in lifestyle priorities. People are starting to care a little bit less about, big city energy, big city prestige. A lot of people want walkable downtowns, local walkable downtown centers, local restaurants, cafes, even local boutiques, stuff like that, and a sense of community more than that big city energy. That's what a lot of people have been, doubling down on, putting their money where their mouth is. We've got places like Skipback, Westchester, parts in the main line, Wayne, Ambler, Bryn Mawr. All of these are going to have some of these walkable downtowns, even places in Doylestown that we've covered on this channel that we're going to talk about a little bit more as we get into this video. And just like we were talking about with all the infrastructure, the reinvestment coming to the area, we've got these revitalized downtowns like in Downingtown, Westchester, Skipback, even down here, Royersford, Conshohocken, Collegeville. You're going to have new construction communities across all of these different counties, Montgomery County, Bucks County, Chester County. They're going to range from condos, townhouses, single family houses, and you're also going to have transportation hubs that are new and improved. They're constantly doing renovations and upgrades on them, SEPTA buses, train stations, all of them. So it's going to make a lifestyle very convenient if you are living out in these suburbs. Well, let's talk about the groups that we are starting to see come back more and more. It's not just one group specifically. It's not just people that have used to live here in the past or have family here. The people that we are seeing return are all different varieties of people, types of people, different stages and chapters of life. So let's talk about that a little bit more. So this is going to span for families, for professionals, even retirees, all people that are looking for something that they couldn't find somewhere else, whether that be in the immediate surrounding area or even, across the country, places like California, Arizona, Texas, stuff like that. So an example would be, I was talking to a family that had relocated out west for a cheaper cost of living. They had moved out there, they lived out west for a couple of years, and they ended up wanting to move back here because, of course, the real estate was cheap, and the cost of living was definitely maybe a lot more affordable than here. But they had constant commute times. They were always driving. The wear and tear that it took on their cars, both of their cars, right? They're constantly driving. So it really didn't even out. Their friends and family were back here. They missed the seasons, right? So there was a bunch of different factors that led ultimately into them coming back. But that was a perfect example. They wanted to go out there for more affordability. They wanted to have a cheaper cost of living, lower houses, all of that. And they ended up just, being farther out from town, not having amenities around them, constantly driving. They didn't have their friends, their families out there, so they were really, felt really isolated there for the first couple bit. But ultimately, that's why they decided to make the move back. It might be a little bit more expensive. You might get a little bit less for your money, but we've got friends and family here. We've got a lifestyle that fits what we need, and some of the trade-offs are just going to be higher cost of living, maybe more traffic, more people. So ultimately, that's the decision that you get to make. But like I was saying, a lot of these people are coming back to communities where their kids can walk to school. They've got local shops, they've got parks. They're all part of daily life, right? You wake up, you take the kid to the school, you finish your day walking the dog around the park in the morning. So a lot of these people are coming back. They want to live more. They don't want to drive. They don't want to work. And a lot of these Pennsylvania towns are going to suit that need. Millennials and young professionals are going to be another big wave of people that are coming back. So a lot of people had left for cheaper rent, maybe more square footage. They missed energy of the city. They missed walkability, the coffee shops, the downtown, that connection to the city. So a lot of those people are realizing, hey, that higher bit of a price tag might be worth it a little bit more. Or what they're doing is they're finding other towns in Pennsylvania that blend that both, that have that perfect blend of affordability, of walkability, energy, and we're going to talk about some towns like that a little bit more into this video. And then like we had said at the start of the video, the remote and hybrid workers are also just reshaping the map, reshaping that shift. Without that daily commute, the train, the car, whatever it is, they can live where they want to live. So instead of having to be just outside of New York, be just outside of DC, pay those prices, they're going to choose Pennsylvania. You got lower taxes, lower cost of living, no sales tax, the balance and proximity to other metros like DC, New York, Jersey Shore, solid internet, right? All of these different factors, a better cost of living, city-like access, they're all gonna ultimately play into the reason of why these people are moving to Pennsylvania. And then you're gonna have empty nesters and retirees, people who wanna downsize, but they don't wanna completely disconnect from everything. They don't wanna go live out in the desert or out in the water. They're moving back into towns like the Main Line, low maintenance communities. You've got people that are doing the grass, the snow removal, pretty much the landscaping, pretty much everything outside. You've got the culture, you've got conveniences. It's really, really a desirable spot, especially if you've got family here to retire and call home at the end of the day. And every group, every family is gonna have their own reasons, their own personal situation. But at the end of the day, the theme is gonna be the same, is that priorities have changed. And if that sounds like something that you're considering making a move, you're comparing areas, lifestyles, cost of livings, I would love to be a resource. I've lived in these areas for my entire life. I've been a licensed real estate professional for the last 4 years now. And in that time, I've had the opportunity to help countless buyers and sellers make all types of moves. So if that sounds like something that you're considering, I would love to be a resource. We could jump on a Zoom call. We could talk about these areas some more. We could talk about your situation and just personalize and tailor that game plan specifically to you. Would love to be that resource. I'll throw my information up here on the screen, text, call, email, whatever works best for you. And let's keep going into this video. We're going to talk about some towns that people are moving to, some towns that you've probably never heard of, or maybe you've heard of them, you've watched some of my other videos, and you just didn't realize that they were that desirable. We're going to talk about that right now. All right, so where are people actually moving back to? It's not just going to be Center City. It's not just going to be all of these neighborhoods in Philadelphia. This move back trend is going to show up in all pockets of Pennsylvania. We've got another video up that kind of explains some of these pockets. So Montgomery County, Bucks County, Chester County, and even parts of the city are all experiencing this move back. I'm going to give you 5 of the top areas that I've seen this most consistently in. But of course, every area is going to be considered. People are looking at all areas, especially with options and resources like my YouTube channel. Every area in Pennsylvania is getting considered. These are just going to be the top 5 that I see the most often. So you're going to have Manayunk and East Falls. This is going to be just outside of the city. So anyone that wants the, that city access, that city living without actually being in the middle of it, you're going to get walkable streets, downtowns, coffee shops, access to the Schuylkill River, and then you're going to have super, super easy commutes into Center City, even into Jersey, or into the Main Line if you wanted to go the opposite way. So it's really going to be a sweet middle spot for anyone that wants city access, suburb access, and you want that right in between affordability. Manayunk, East Falls is going to be a perfect area. Next up, we're gonna have Conshohocken. This is in Montgomery County. This area has exploded in the last couple of years with new construction, breweries. You've got mixed-use, walkable spaces. This area is gonna be perfect for young professionals, remote workers, people that want modern living, quick access to 76, 422. You're gonna be just outside of King of Prussia, so you're gonna be a little bit closer to the main line, a little bit closer to areas like Collegeville, Phoenixville, even like that Hatboro, Plymouth Meeting area. But if you are going to the city, if you are going to Jersey, you're going to be maybe 15, 20 minutes further than Manayunk. So definitely a little bit more suburban. You get a lot more suburban conveniences and access. And that cost of living is going to be pretty similar to Manayunk and that King of Prussia area. Next up, we've got Doylestown. This is going to be in Bucks County. I've got a ton of videos up about Doylestown. This is going to really attract families and any professionals that want community feel, community charm. You love history. Doylestown is going to be huge for history. You've got great school districts. You've got local arts. You've got a downtown, a very sophisticated downtown. That's going to make a very well-rounded small town. Doylestown is also great for people that constantly go or consistently go to Jersey. If they go to New York, you're going to be up in northern Pennsylvania, northern, Bucks County area. So you're going to have a lot quicker commute times, a lot lower commute times if you are going to those parts of the state or to those parts of the country, New York, New Jersey, anywhere like that. Doylestown could be a super, super convenient spot that you settle down in. We've got Westchester. This is going to be in Chester County. You're going to hear this one every single video. It's never going to miss. People who left in their 20s, they're going to come back now. It's super, super lively. You've got downtown, you've got walkability, a strong job market, strong rental market. It literally feels like city living, but just scaled way down. Far more manageable, far more clean and more sophisticated. It definitely has that small town feel. And then we've got Fishtown and Northern Liberties back in the city. Anyone that wants pure city energy, you want restaurants, you want nightlife, art, constant growth, energy, noise. This is where people go when they realize that they actually miss the buzz of city life. It's not going to be in Center City. It's not going to be in all these other different parts. This is where people go when they want to experience Philadelphia. And that's not all. The lifestyle here is not just about neighborhoods. It's not just about priorities. It's going to be about culture. One of the most important things, one of the biggest things about living here in Philadelphia is going to be the sports culture alone. That's going to give you a sense of feeling, of belonging. This is going to touch a place that most cities in the country can never even compare to. You've got Eagles Sundays, you've got Phillies, Red October playoffs runs, Flyers games in the winter, Sixers, whatever it is. They're not just going to be entertainment, it's community. People gather around it. Sundays at 1 o'clock, Sundays at 4 o'clock, everything shuts down. We're watching the Eagles game. Sunday or Red October, or Phillies Red October, I mean, that's all people are talking about. The sport culture here is going to be something like you've never seen before. The food scene is also going to be a huge part of why people come back. You're going to have small town mom and pop shop bakeries. You're going to have farmers markets to some of the greatest Philly cheesesteaks, Italian hoagies, pretzels, just breweries, anything that you can imagine, all in this hour to hour and a half radius. The next biggest draw to people coming back to this area is going to be the weather. You actually get 4 full seasons, which is going to be the greatest thing ever. So that means fall festivals, you go to freaking farms, pumpkins, apple cider, hay rides. You got spring blooms, so you go to Longwood Gardens, all the grass and the flowers start to come up, the leaves come back. Summer nights on the porch, the beach, have fire pits, whatever it is, and then tailgates, pumpkin patches, football games, just a rhythm of life that people miss. People really enjoy it, and it's one of those things that you underestimate it until you move out and you realize that it's 80, 95 degrees every day and it's constantly the same. And then we've talked about this throughout the video, but the location, you just cannot beat the location of Pennsylvania. You're a short drive, a short train away from New York City, Washington, D.C., the Pocono Mountains, the Jersey Shore. You can literally be at the beach at sunrise. You can be in New York City by sunset. You can be home by lunch. It's insane, the location. Everything's going to be within a 2, 3, maybe 4 hour commute. So having that access to all of these major areas without having to live in the cost and the chaos of those areas is going to be a massive draw. And of course, there are always going to be trade-offs. You've got higher taxes, less space, noise, parking battles, but what you get in return is community, convenience, lifestyle, and for a lot of people, it's well worth it. So let's weigh it out, because moving back isn't all going to be positive. There's going to be some trade-offs that you have to think through. Here's what you get. You're gonna be closer to everything: work, transit, shopping, restaurants. You're gonna cut down on long commutes, travel time that eat up your week, car expenses, gas expenses, whatever it is. You're gonna get that walkability, sports culture, everyday sense of connection. You can grab dinner, run errands, see friends, all without having to, factor it around your drive or different areas of where you might be. And there might be a financial upside. You get, less driving, maybe fewer cars, lower maintenance on some of your cars, parking costs. It can all add up. What you might trade off is maybe space. Maybe you have a smaller yard, tighter parking. Your home might cost more per square foot. Property taxes could be higher, especially in different suburban or city areas. You're probably gonna have more noise, more things going on. Some people love it, some people don't. And just depending on the neighborhood, schools can vary, which is gonna be very important to people if you're staying there or planning to stay there long term, you've got kids. And for a lot of these people, some of these trade-offs are starting to feel worth it. And it's not gonna be everywhere. They're just trade-offs, so you might have an amazing school district, but you might not have, the greatest affordability on a house. Or you might have the greatest affordability on a house, but not the greatest school district. So it's all just gonna be very property and area specific. So are we seeing a mass migration back to Pennsylvania? Well, it's not everybody, but it's enough to have a conversation about. People are rethinking the suburbs, people are rethinking small town, city life, and they're just realizing how much balance that they could be missing out on if they were just right here at home. And if you have been considering a move back, I'd love to know what's considering that determination or that consideration for you. Is it gonna be your family, your walkability, the school districts, a sense of community, the weather, the sports, whatever it is? I would love to be curious. You could drop it down in the comments. I'm sure other people watching would love to know as well. And if you like this type of stuff, diving into these areas, talking about different home tours or why people are coming to the area, please subscribe and like this channel. It's gonna help me out in making more content just like this. I've actually got a video coming up in the next week about which towns and neighborhoods around the Philadelphia area are giving buyers the best value right now. I'm gonna break down what your dollar actually gets in each area. You're not gonna wanna miss that video, so make sure you subscribe and hit that little bell icon. And if you guys are considering a move, you can reach out to me, text, call, email. I'll throw my information up here on the screen. And until next time, I will see you around the neighborhood.